And it's time for an update on the Ford Torino GT Pro Street build. Come on back, let's take a look at it.
Well, I was rolling down the road in some cold blue steel. I had a blues man on my back.
And welcome to the first update on the 70 Ford Torino GT that I'm building for the Pro Street Group build being held by Dylan at New York State Modeling. Got quite a bit done actually. This may run just a little bit long because I've got quite a bit to talk about. I'll try to go through it as quickly as possible. I want to start first of all with the chassis pan and the mating up of the Dirty Donnie rear tub. As I said, I had planned to use that. I actually looked at the 66 Nova, and it would have worked probably, but it was a little narrow and it was going to kind of rock around in the body just a little bit, so I didn't want to fight that. Now the Dirty Donnie tub is a tad bit wide in the back. Now you have to remember the Dirty Donnie tub or the Dirty Donnie kit is 1/24 scale. Now you can use this kit for even with a 1/25 scale car that's a little bit on the large size like the Torino body is. Now the Torino is a large car. Let me pull it out right quick. You can see how wide it is in the back. So even when, just to give you an idea of how it's going to sit, hold on just a minute. I'll get it in place. Now there is how it's going to sit. Now, you know, you can't beat that. I mean, that's it moves just a little bit, and I'll have to glue when I go to glue it. It'll be sitting fairly level. Now, I did have to cut back this part on the rear because there was a little about 1/8 of an inch. There was a little lip on this tub, on this rear tub. Would have worked probably if all I had to do was put bumpers on, but you'll notice I have a mark inside here. There is a rear body panel that sits down in there that goes in before the bumpers go on, and that piece on this rear tub was going to be hitting that, so I cut that off. You'll never know that was there. And like I said, this is only, you know, from here back is Dirty Donnie, from here up is all Torino kit. So and it looks good when I've got the wheels and tires all put together. So we'll look at those on another video. But anyway, the rear end is the rear suspension is the Dirty Donnie, rear axle, 4-link bars, springs, coilovers, chrome highlighted with blue Sharpie just for the springs to look blue, and they actually turned out purple. And I've done that, used the blue before, and that's what generally happens. So the rear axle is painted with AK Interactive. I believe that's matte aluminum. I'm not really sure. I've got several combinations of AK Interactive going on. Now, I know this is just their base aluminum on the drive shaft. The link bars they look chrome, and they came in the kit chromed. I de-chromed them and shot them with AK Interactive Chrome, their chrome metallizer. That is shot at about 12 pounds in the airbrush over the top of Model Master Gloss Black acrylic. The key to getting a reasonably close facsimile of chrome, much like the All-Clad or any of the others for that matter, is super light mist coats. I shot that at, like I said, at about 12 pounds through my GSI Krios Procon 0.2 millimeter airbrush. to get that to come out that the way it did. So the front suspension is a combination of the AK Interactive matte aluminum and their base aluminum, which turned out really nice, I think. Now, the Ford kit part of the chassis from here up, well, no, actually all of it, excuse me, I stand corrected, all of it is craft acrylic. Now, it is a a relatively new color that N.Y.S has come out with, and it's called galvanized tin. In the bottle, it actually looks like gunmetal, but when shot, and also on your finger, but when shot through the airbrush, it comes out looking like a silver, like a matte aluminum. So, and it's pretty tough. I've let it sit. When I shot it, I let it sit for about a week while I was waiting for the tubs to glue up good, or the tub to glue up good. And so it had a chance to cure for about a week, and I've handled it and slid it around on my desktop, and I've not had any of it come off. So not bad for $1.69. I believe I got that at Hobby Lobby for. So, and looks turns out a nice metallizer aluminum color, I think. So, but I still like my AKs for suspension parts and engines and what have you. So, all right, on to the engine real quickly. This is the kit engine, the 429 Cobra Jet. Painted Model Master acryl, Ford engine blue. Has the kit valve covers. It has two sets of valve covers. This is the version that goes on the drag version of the car, which has Ford Motorsports scribed on the valve cover. Just dry brush that with some black paint, kind of highlight it, bring it out. I have a tunnel ram, aftermarket tunnel ram. I'm not sure whose that is, to be honest with you. It was in my parts box, or my aftermarket kit box. We'll be going with a carburetor base plate, and then the 4-barrel Hollies, putting some brushed aluminum air cleaners on top of that. For my pulleys, these are the parts by parts pulley set. This is for the Ford and Chrysler long block and big block engines. The 4 pulley set has a pulley for the water pump, the crank, the alternator, and the power steering pump. I have some photo etch brackets there for the alternator and the power steering pump, so it doesn't look like they're hanging out in midair. And some aftermarket pulley belts out of my kit stash there, or my aftermarket stash. I have to quit saying that, because that's not my kit stash. That's my part stash. That's my aftermarket stash. So there's a difference, and that's where we're at with that. All right. Interior, nothing to talk about really. Just black. Satin black for the interior. I didn't want anything out of the ordinary, just plain old black. I did highlight the window cranks and the door handle with the Molotov chrome pin. I had planned to use the Dirty Donnie seats from the kit for this kit. It has the kind of racing seats that comes with the Super B, but evidently I've used those somewhere at some point. Man, that kit is so great to kit bash out of it. You can get your engine out of it, the tubs. You can get for the rear end. You can get it for the interior seats. Just a great kit to kit bash. But I'll just go with these. These are the Torino Seats. Plain Jane. The backstory on this is the guy built a Pro Street, but technically it's a Pro Street, but mainly it's just an old school hot rod, big 600-700 horsepower engine in it. It's not going to go to the track. It's not going to have a roll cage in it. And then that's the thing, I see so many, and I'm not knocking anybody, don't get me wrong, they put roll cages and stuff that's on the street, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But you know, I was raised in the 70s, old school. I had a 396 Super Sport that probably put out 550 horsepower with the cam setup we had in it. We never put roll cages in our hot rods. I never saw a street car with a roll cage in it until I got up into the 80s and the Pro Streets came about. And you know, we had street hot rods back then that had horsepower like the Pro Street cars had. Some of them. Now, when they started getting up into the 800 and 900 and 1,000 horsepower, you know, quite naturally, you know, I guess you probably do need a roll cage. But when you get up into that kind of horsepower, you're not going to use it on the street. Don't kid anybody. You're not going to run a 1,000 horsepower car on the road legally. I mean, you may do 150 miles per hour on the track with it, but you know, here again, that's, you know, I don't want to get started on that, but you know, I'm just old school, and you know, old school hot rods were, you know, the 300, 400, 500 horsepower. Nowadays, that's you know, some of the 6-cylinder cars have got that in them. But at any rate, getting off track. You know, he builds this cars for the family going to ride in it maybe, and you know, he's not worried about putting a roll cage in or anything like that. It's not going to have street, you know, hot rod seats or anything, or racing seats. So all I'll do probably is put some seat belts in it, just base seat belts. I may not even, I had planned kind of to maybe put some flocking down. May or may not do that. I don't know. We'll just see. All right, that's where we're at. Our next update will probably be the beginning of a two-part. I say two parts, actually 3 parts. 2 parts will be put together into the first video. The next video that's coming up will be actually 2 parts to it. The first part will be application of the Auto Air Autoborne Silver Sealer, which we will be putting down as our primer sealer for the Torino body. Now that is in anticipation of shooting Auto Air Candy 2.0 colors over the top of that. We're going to be using a candy blue, which is called Caribe, C-A-R-I-B-E, Caribe blue. We're going to be mixing that 2 parts Caribe blue to 1 part Wicked Blue Pearl. And this is a little trick that the Auto Air people show you. This is for their actual, like for actual cars, 1-to-1 cars. And we'll touch on the Auto Air stuff as the video comes about. But after we put the silver sealer down, it'll be a quick, I'll show you kind of how it goes on, and we'll, you know, I'll edit and fast forward, go on to the second part, which will be the shooting of the Auto Air, the Wicked aluminum, which will be the base coat for the Auto Air Candy Blue. Now this Wicked aluminum, if you've shot it, you know what I'm talking about. It's a heavy flake base coat, which is basically why we're putting the silver sealer down, the Autoborne sealer, and we'll talk about those Autoborne sealers when we get into the video, and the reason behind that. I'm not just putting it on because Auto Air says put it on, that it needs to be on there. There's a reason why you use the Autoborne sealers. There's a purpose for them. Okay, that's where we're at. And then the second part of that video, the second video in that series, will be the application of the Candy Blue, Caribe Blue itself. That'll be in the video by itself. Until I talk to you again, take care of each other. May God bless you and your family. Don't take any crap from anyone. See you in the paint video coming up. Bye.